guy that had the
Nope.
pictures.
All right. I want to welcome everybody to the August 1st, 2023 meeting at 6:01. If I could get approval of agenda at this time.
Second.
Second, all in favor, aye? Aye. All right, it's our privilege tonight to have Reverend Steve Johnson, Bradley Baptist Church is going to open us up. You start with whatever you want to do, pledge, whatever.
We'll start with a prayer. How about that?
That'll work.
Thank y'all for having me, by the way. It's been a long time since I've been back, but thank y'all for having me back.
Come back in.
We'll see if you invite me back after this.
First, third, Tuesday every month.
Let us pray. Father, we come before you to say thank you first and foremost for each and every blessing that you have bestowed upon this county and this country. Father, we thank you for those that are before us, Lord, for those elected officials, for those servants. Father, we thank you for their desire. We thank you for their passion. We thank you for their commitment to serve this community. And Father, we know that they're not going to please every resident of Jones County. But Father, we ask for wisdom. We ask for guidance for them, Lord. Father, as they make decisions, they will make decisions that's based on what is best for their community. So Father, grant them all that they need to make decisions according to what is best. So Father, again, we ask for your blessings upon each and every one of them. And thank you for this great nation that we live in, and thank you for this county that we call a blessing. So Father, now again, as they go into the meeting, give them guidance through the decision making, and we'll give you praise in the midst of it. For it's your sweet and heavenly name that we pray. Amen. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank y'all.
Thank you. All right, we're going to move on to our planning and zoning tonight. Just before Mr. Patowski comes in, if anybody here tonight is in opposition to any of these requests, you will get opportunity to speak.
Chairman, our first item is a request by Daniel Lance Souther. It's a request to allow a commercial trade shop to be located at 258 Rock Creek Road. This is a conditional use request, and it is for an asphalt paving company. The Planning Commission has recommended approval of this request.
Mr. Souter here tonight?
No, sir.
He's not?
Yes, sir.
Anyone here on behalf of this request? Come on forward. Introduce yourself.
Sandy Brooks, owner of Asphalt Specialty Services. We rented property from Mr. Souther, and then when we came to get our business license, found out that it was not zoned to park equipment by the building.
Okay.
So that's what we're asking, to be able to park the equipment up by the shop.
All right. Any questions? No? Anyone here tonight in opposition to this request? Anyone?
I make a motion to accept the request for general commercial C2 zoning.
Second. Second. Any more discussion?
By way of clarification, we are approving the conditional use request.
Conditional uses.
Any more discussion? All in favor, aye? Aye. Ayes have it. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Chairman, the next item on the agenda is a request by Paul Kornman. This is to rezone from C2 to R1. Is to allow an existing structure to be used as a dwelling on this property. Planning Commission has recommended an approval to C1 for this property.
All right. Is Mr. Corman here? Come forward. Give us an idea what you want to do, and that way, if we got any questions, we can ask you.
Yes, sir. We decided that in discussion with the lender that C1 is fine, and that's what we choose to do.
Any questions for Mr. Corman? Anyone here tonight in opposition to this request?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Second. More discussion? None? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Ayes have it.
Thank you.
Chairman, our next item is a request by Deldrick Green. This is to establish a personal care home at this property. This would allow for the care of up to 6 clients in a personal care setting. This is the same request that was approved in 2015 for this property. Because it wasn't exercised, that approval has expired. Now they want to move forward, so they will need a new conditional use granted. Planning Commission has recommended approval of this request.
Delbert Green, you here tonight? Yeah. Anyone here tonight in opposition to this request? None?
I make a motion to accept the request for a conditional use on personal care home at 210 Lifetime Road.
Second.
Second. Any discussion? None, all in favor, aye?
Aye.
Ayes have it.
Chairman, our final item is a variance request from Lisa Smith. This is to allow a substandard private road creation that will serve 3 lots. Because this is a variance, there is not a recommendation from the Planning Commission.
Ms. Smith?
Hello, I'm Lisa Smith, and I'm here to represent my sisters and nephews. Both of our parents are now deceased, so we are in the process of trying to divide the family property, which consists of about 109 acres. What we're running into, my 2 sisters / one of my nephews already owns property. My nephew, who belongs to my brother, who is deceased, does not own property. He does not have any access to the property, so that is what we're doing. The property's been in the family since 1947. The driveway, as far as we know, goes back to 1844 when the original home was built. What we're doing is asking for a variance to allow a private road easement on it so that he, as well as my 2 sisters, continue to have access to the property. The driveway's in use, and there would be no changes, as far as we know, to that driveway that's current.
Any question, any questions from Ms. Smith? Anyone here tonight in opposition to this request?
I'm in support, but just with a caveat.
Just introduce yourself to the,
Hi, James Noble.
no, that way we've got you on.
Sure, my name is James Nobles, and I'm here on behalf of my mother-in-law, B.B. Parker. We have a very long common border with this property, and I actually am the long-term, I lease the property on a long-term basis from my mother-in-law. We fully support Mr. Mike's will. It's been probated in the local court. Ms. Smith has been appointed the co-executor along with Mr. Lazenby, and they are sworn to carry out the wishes of Mr. Mike, which we fully support. Our only concern is that the declaration of this private road not lay the groundwork for any future development or division of this property over and beyond what Mr. Mike's will provided. And I've spoken with Mr. Petrowski at some length, and it's my understanding that that is the case. Any future subdivision of this property, any future changes in the zoning would have to come back either before P&Z or this board as appropriate. So with that caveat, assuming that caveat is correct, we wholeheartedly support this, and we support the Pace family in doing this because we want to see the terms of Mr. Mike's will carried out. One other caveat is that it's my understanding that the survey does not come back before this board to be approved again. And we would just ask for and I think the family, we're all in consent that they would let us have a look at the survey before it's filed because we do have a very long common border. And we've been wonderful neighbors over the years, and I really, we could never wish for better neighbors than Mr. Mike and his family, and we fully support them. Thank you very much.
Anyone else? Nothing else?
Motion to approve, Chairman.
Second.
Any discussion? None, all in favor, aye?
Aye.
Thank y'all. Move on tonight. Consent agenda and approval for minutes. We had a call meeting on July 14th, along with the third Tuesday on July 18th, an executive session. If y'all have had an opportunity to review the minutes, entertain a motion to approve.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
All right. New business, Mr. Burt, 4-H archery.
How y'all doing? I was approached by 4-H probably 6 months ago, and they were searching for a place that they could conduct archery practice. I gave them several different options that might work throughout the county, and I told them that it would, whatever they decide they wanted to go with would have to be approved by this board. And they selected Haddock Ball Field. As you can see in the image, that would be the lay of the land for them. There's like a little fence right there. That would be where people park. And then on the other side, they would set up their targets. They would want to do it a couple nights a week and then possibly Sunday afternoon when the time changes because it gets dark earlier. So as a staff, we don't have an issue with this. I think it would be a good use of the park. That park doesn't get used a ton, and I think this would be good to bring people to Haddock and bring people to that park. And I recommend approving their wishes.
Is it 3D or just a standalone? I'm curious.
Standalone targets.
Okay. They're both fine.
And there are some people from 4-H here if you have any questions for them. Don't want to say
There
that?
we go. How you doing? Come on forward. Just introduce yourself for the record.
I am Savannah Clark, Jones County 4-H agent.
All right, good there.
We hope to start practices in October, and the season would last until May. With, like I said, our visits or our practices being weeknights and then weekends when the time changes. Eventually, we'd like to grow and hopefully get a few more targets and stands out there. But for now, the team would likely consist of about 6 shooters. Anyone from grades 4th through 12th grade are eligible to be on the team. And hopefully, as we recruit more coaching staff, those numbers will grow.
You might guess, does 4-H do the 3D also, or just a target?
Yes, right now we're starting with the standalone, but as we grow and advance and get more hands on deck, we hope to move into 3D as well.
How much ground we got out there? Because that would be a perfect spot for 3D.
Yeah, I have to look at the property lines, but.
Sounds like chairman's volunteering.
Yeah.
Oh, I've got a long history of the 4-H shotgun too. It's sitting back there for across in my backyard
Get some
for
skeet machines out there.
16, 17 years probably.
Our next coach's training is in September.
I look at it.
All right,
Put it on his calendar.
all right.
Chairman, I don't understand why their season's much longer than deer season.
I think that's right. What you need to do is learn how to shoot a bow and give that poor deer a chance.
I've shot a bow for years. Too hot during September for me.
Okay. I need a motion.
Chairman, I think it's a great idea that we partner with stuff like this and get all the opportunities out there we can for our young folks. So with that, absolutely motion to approve.
Second.
Second, any more discussion?
I was just gonna ask, because I know we have some representatives from Haddock here, how they felt about it, and if there was some input needed.
Sure. Yes, before, discussion. Haddock's got any questions on this? None?
Are there any safety issues involved?
There are no houses behind that area in which we're shooting, and we can also plan to bring the targets a little further out into the open area
Sure.
so that we're sure that we see where the targets are, or the arrows are ending.
Do you need some backstops, or do y'all use backstops?
We can get a curtain if that becomes
Okay.
an issue. We can install one of those.
Are these compounds or?
They'll shoot compound and recurve. It's up to the shooter.
Mr. Chairman, one thing I would want to mention is there are church softball groups that do use this field, and so we don't want to, I'm not sure of the exact days or times of the week they practice, but we want to make sure that they're able to still practice and use the Haddock ball field.
What we would do is we would put them on the schedule, just like we do for any of our other facilities. And we'd probably, since people are used to Haddock Park being first come, first served, because it doesn't get a lot of traffic, so we'd probably put signage up there and say, you know, you're now required to have a reservation to book that facility. Now, if nobody's reserved it and you show up, you can still use it. But if someone has reserved it, like 4-H, and you show up and they have their permit, then you know, they get first dibs. And one of the things that we probably do, though, even though they would be using the outfield, or the area outside of the outfield, it's probably not a good idea to have any kind of ball sports going on at the same time that we have archery going on. So, and there will still be plenty of times for all. They're not going to have it, every single day or all afternoon on Sundays, and there would be time for other groups to squeeze in there.
Right, I was just thinking about the churches that do use that ball field, and I want to make sure they are still able to use it,
Yeah, they would.
as
We're
much
not-
as possible.
It's not like we're just gonna turn the keys over to Haddock Park and say,
Right.
you get it whenever you want it, and nobody, it's not gonna be like that. They're gonna tell us what days they're practicing, we'll put them in our system, And, you know, the churches can do the same thing.
We need to make the churches aware of that, because if it's been
Right.
sort of
Yeah.
free-for-all, if you will,
Yeah.
they wouldn't know to do that. So
Yeah.
I don't want
And
to.
also, let's make the restrooms available. I know the doors stay locked on that restroom, but
Yeah,
let's
we've
make it
already
available for the
decided that
church
we'll do
groups.
that.
Make it available for the church groups and
Yeah.
archery 4-H groups.
And the next question, how much buffer do we have between the tree line and where Jones County ends, in case we do need to make dedicated lanes so both
It's-
sports can participate at the same
I
time?
think it sits on about a 20-acre parcel.
Yeah.
It's well over 10 acres there.
All right, so there's an opportunity to create dedicated space for it?
Yes.
Okay.
The roadway going into it, is it in pretty good shape?
There's one
No.
pothole that needs to be addressed pretty good.
I would request Public
Because if we're
Works
gonna-
work on that
yeah.
road. There's some pretty bad holes in that road.
There's one that's real bad.
That's what I was gonna say. The benefit to the Haddock community is they'll get more maintenance attention on that
Yeah,
part.
that's right.
So,
I know the Public Works Director, we'll be talking about that.
Yeah.
So,
Any more discussion? All in favor, aye?
Uh-huh.
Aye. Thank you.
Thank you.
Call me if you need me.
Absolutely.
Commissioner Kitchen? I could probably find you a boat to use. too.
I got two of them. I think she can, go ahead and call you now.
I was gonna say, just put it on his calendar.
Go ahead and call him now. Text him now what you need.
All right, Mr. Risner, we got Georgia Power tree trimming and clearing easement.
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman. So, down off of Georgia Highway 49, there are some areas there on the edges of properties that we own at the Matty Wells Community Center and then the 49 ballpark there where there are some trees. Georgia Power has approached us about clearing some of those trees. They're doing that work in various areas of Jones County. Actually, as a staff, we have talked about the need to clear some of those trees near Matty Wells just to open that up. I think a lot of people don't even know that it's up there. And so this kind of thing doesn't happen for us typically. But Georgia Power has offered to pay us money to come and do that work that we had kind of talked about doing.
Second.
Second.
All in favor, aye. That was quick, wasn't it? All right, intergovernmental agreement, water and for City Gray.
So this is something the board has talked about previously. With Ashley and Tim and Brandon, we've kind of gone through this and come up with an agreement that we think's workable for us. It is a 10-year agreement, which we talked about here previously. We factored in the Act of God language that state law requires, and we factored in the CPI adjustment every 2 years. And the rate structure is set up so that it kind of funnels them to a good point for us. And so the rate decreases up until about 11 million gallons a month. That's once you get above that, we're still happy to sell water, but it's a little bit of a strain as you go above that number. And so the rate starts increasing again once you get past that number. So it's designed to kind of point them to a good number for us. And the rate, they're incentivized to do that with the lower rate. So I would recommend the board approve this draft. We'll send it over to the city and get any feedback from them.
Any questions for Mr. Risner?
You're good, Ashley?
I've reviewed that. We all met as well and went through line by line, and I approve it.
Okay.
All the changes that we had discussed were made.
All righty.
Go ahead, we'll do.
No, I was just saying, been in a discussion for a while, so I'm happy with it too.
Right. Quick question, let's say everything fails, we turn the water valve on and make a water authority. Are we still all right? See what I'm saying? Let's just say
We had to pass through.
we had to sit there, shut our well down and go straight to making water authority. Are we okay?
In terms of the amount of money, the revenue you generate,
That's, I mean,
Look at his face.
I mean, it's,
Would we break even or would we lose money?
I'm just,
That wasn't a quick answer, Jason.
I'm not trying to put you on the spot, but I did, I'm sorry.
So
I
make the
should have asked
clause
this
and then
question
cover
ahead of
that
time.
yeah, I think, if I mean, we're in the 380s per thousand with them. There are some scenarios here where it gets into the 340 a thousand range, and so, you know, certainly if they were buying that volume and we were having to buy all of it from Macon Water Authority, then we're
Losing money.
upside down.
So we don't have a caveat in there for in like extreme times, if our pump, if 11 pumps went down at one time.
Right, we've got language in there regarding mechanical failure and a lot of scenarios that would cover that.
All right,
That's what I'm talking about with
Yep.
two attorney minds on it.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Second. Any more discussion? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
All right. Ms. Wagner?
I need a voting delegate for the 2023 Legislative Leadership Conference in October in Jackson.
Nominate Ms. Vaughn again, Commissioner Vaughn.
Maybe a hurricane won't keep us
That's right.
from being able to.
Last time like to wipe this out, but we want to try it again.
We have a second?
Second.
Second. Any more discussion? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Have it, all right. And Ms. Brody?
We have discussed previously the resolution to the Jones County versus Red Residential pending case. I just need the board's approval for chairman to sign that settlement agreement.
Any
We
questions?
discussed it already, right? Motion to approve.
Nothing's changed from.
Second.
Second. Any more discussion? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Let's have it. All right. Keep Jones County beautiful position, Mr. Risner.
So we've talked about this a little bit previously. More recently, there's been talk with the Chamber of Commerce. They've got a vacancy in their executive director position. So there's been some talk about sort of combining the two roles, some type of arrangement where that executive director carried out the Keep Jones Beautiful duties. And so there are several different ways you could arrange something like that if the board's so inclined. There's a handout there in front of you. So I think under any of these scenarios that I was going to go through real quick, my recommendation would be for the city and county to directly oversee and directly fund some of the physical landscaping stuff that's going on now. So through time, it's gotten to the point where we've got a contractor that does a lot of all of the physical labor, putting plants in the ground, cutting grass, trimming trees, and that type of thing. To me, it makes more sense for us and the city to just oversee that directly versus us giving money to Keep Jones Beautiful, who hires a contractor to do it. I mean, you kind of take out the middleman there. And then we've got the recycling center there that, we've obviously got other facilities that are similar where we're already doing recycling work. I don't know that it makes sense to give money to Keep Jones Beautiful and then to turn around and do something we're already doing ourselves. And so, so in all of these, I would recommend that we do all that stuff directly. And so several different scenarios here. One, you could do a contract with the Chamber of Commerce where you just say, look, these are the 5 things or 10 things or whatever it is, and I've given some examples there of the things that we want that position to do, and in exchange for that, we'll give you X amount of dollars. So that's one way you could do it, just a defined list of specific things that you want them to carry out every year. Another way you could do it there, option 2, is you could say, here's the full job description for the Keep Jones Beautiful Executive Director position. We want the Chamber to handle all this. And in exchange for that, we give you some amount of money. And then a third option, I guess, would be just to kind of keep the role as it's traditionally been, where it's primarily funded by us, some funding from the city, and it's a position that falls under the county. So just wanted to kind of throw those 3 options out there. There's probably other ways to do it as well, but I wanted to get your thoughts on that.
So with all those scenarios, we would still have the Keep Jones Beautiful designation because we need that to affiliate with Keep America Beautiful and Keep Georges because there's funding that comes with that for cleanups. The Tree Cities USA, there's funding for that for the trees. So we would still keep that designation. We would just delegate that to either the chamber or a person like we have in the past, or some, can that be done through an intergovernmental agreement where we designate staff members from both sides to do that? Or, because I get what you're saying. I mean, for us to pay staff members to oversee a contract, you know, I don't see a lot of, I see value in it, but not as much as if we did we're actually, I mean, especially if we got people that are doing the work now. Yeah. What's our timeline on this? Because I'd like to read over this, and have we brought the Keep Jones Beautiful Committee discussion in it, or should we? Or?
No, I think at one time there was a very active, board. I think in the last 3 or 4, probably post-COVID, that's kind of fizzled a little bit, but we could look to kind of reassemble that group and get some recommendations from them if you want to.
I absolutely think we need their input on, because when they were active prior to COVID, it was, they were very active and have been for a long time, and they're, I would say, most of the reason why we have what we have in beautification projects. So. Do we need to vote on this tonight, or can we
Or postpone,
it
would
to
not
the next
table,
meeting?
postpone.
Yeah. That'll be my motion.
Look, you got a second?
Second.
Any more discussion? In favor, aye? Aye. Let's have it. Department heads, who wants to start tonight? Jason, you want to start?
I don't have anything right now.
Wow. Either one of the young ladies up there, anything?
No, sir.
Well, guess what? You're next.
All right. Thank y'all for,
So people at home can hear you?
Here, come on up here a
We'll
second.
start,
That way they can hear you.
we'll start getting texts that they can't hear you if
Yeah.
you're not standing there.
I want to thank y'all for sending a couple of our guys down to Jekyll next week for the APWA training. Got that going on next week. These guys are halfway through the program. They got another year and a half, and then they'll have their certificate of public works management. So thank y'all for that, and that's pretty much all I have.
That's great.
Anybody got any questions for me?
You probably got
Any
equipment
wishes?
dealers- You probably got equipment dealers calling you left and right, though, don't you?
Yes, sir.
You had a demonstration today, how'd that go?
It went well. We actually, the vendor is leaving the unit with us to make sure all of our operators get a chance to run the equipment and give feedback, input on it. It's a really nice piece of equipment, and it's built well. So,
And is it an articulating arm or just a side mower?
it's now the demo we have is a sidearm mower, but the one that we're asking for, the unit we're asking for, has the slope mower that lets down. It also raises and lowers, and then there's a mower that offsets on the rear, so we can have either or when we're out there. We can handle a lot of jobs while we're there, and we don't have to schedule a sidearm mower to come back out. We can get it while we're there.
Does it shred as good as the ones we got?
Does it what now? I'm sorry.
Can Jerry, is that what you said?
Yeah, can Jerry shred as good with that one as he can with a?
I'll let Jerry tell you about that one.
I would need about a week on it.
Uh-huh.
Figure out.
Yeah, it's a good unit, but the unit that we're, eventually we'd like to get a couple of these sidearm units in as well, like we have on the demo.
Yeah.
But I think the unit we need now more than anything is the one with the slope mower and the bush hog.
Yeah, we got a lot of banks.
Yeah.
Or don't got.
Jerry, one broke the arm on the side? Nope.
Nope.
Did you crack it before they got on it?
I have no idea.
Okay, I just wondered, I heard somebody broke it, I just wondered if.
I did tell him that his 2 hours on this demo, they'd be the last 2 hours, but he snuck on there today and ran it for a little while. He didn't tear anything up.
Yeah.
I think cutting grass is priority over all.
All right, thank you.
I had a little deja vu there for a minute when the Mike boss, Ashley, told him to get up in front of the mic. I remember her saying that at one of my first meetings about a year ago. Designated Mike boss over here, but.
Mike Balls,
So we'll have to put that under county attorney and Mike boss.
AKA.
Brody brings it,
Yeah. But things are going good. Just to give y'all a little project updates for those of y'all that don't know, with the playground projects, several of the smaller playgrounds at 49, Haddock, and 18 have been completed. They're working on the major ones now. At Liberty Park, they're almost done with part of that, the inclusive one at Liberty Park. They're still working on Matty Wells. They had a hiccup. And they're basically starting over at Matty Wells. They're going to take up what they did and start completely over because the installers say it was manufactured wrong. The manufacturer, of course, is saying, no, it wasn't us, it was y'all. So, but anyways, they're yanking it all out and starting over at Matty Wells. So that gave us a little delay. But we had a nice little event at Matty Wells this weekend. Levon kind of does like a back to school cookout for all their community members that frequent the gym, and had a good turnout to that. He cooked a bunch of chicken and burgers and stuff like that. So that was good. The golf course is doing well. We're getting a lot of really good feedback. We're changing the software that we use up there. We've actually just started to implement tee times, which is something that we had to do. In the past, it's kind of been first come, first serve, but we have so many people playing golf out there right now that it's really turned into a mess without doing tee times. So we've implemented that, and that seems to be going good so far. And we're registering for football, flag football, and soccer right now. So we're excited about fall sports coming up.
And cheering.
Huh?
And cheerleading.
And cheering, yeah. Don't forget cheerleading.
Yeah, don't you forget
I got one signed up for cheerleading, and she's more excited than she's ever been.
cheerleading too.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
we're
me
real
too.
excited about that. So,
Yeah.
but that's it for me.
How's flag football going, girls flag football going?
It's a little slow, but I've already been contacted by 3 other counties that are just now starting flag football as well. Macon, Monroe, and Baldwin have already contacted me saying that, they're doing it for the first time this year too. So if we don't get enough and they don't get enough, we can have some games against other counties that touch us. So that'll be
Sounds good.
What
good.
about women's
So-
flag football? When's that coming?
It's coming. We got the equipment now, so we start with the kids. We let them develop a passion for the game, and then we'll get the
Grayberry
women
flag
involved.
football.
So we are also offering for the first time since I've been here and the first time in a while, is we're having another, both of the softball leagues went really well this summer, and now we're going to have a fall softball league as well. So that'll be co-ed. And so we're really, basically in the fall, we'll have 2 new sports that we hadn't had before, flag football and adult softball. So we'll be having stuff on upper fields, lower fields. It'll be like spring booming out there. So we're excited about that. All right.
Good job, man.
I didn't miss anybody, did I? No? Citizen comments. Anybody tonight want to come forward? 4-H. Brandon.
He was trying to hide. I'm
He-
calling him
I see
out.
you.
We're calling him out.
Uh-huh. I saw you ducking.
said I averted my eyes, they didn't see.
Can you give us a state of the 4-H address?
State of the 4-H address. There we go.
The conditions right now with crop conditions is we're about in our second cutting of hay right now. I'm seeing some decent stuff come in, but the weather conditions of extremely hot and sporadic rains are gonna continue to plague us, as with the freezes that we had. They're plagued us up until June this year. So from a disease standpoint, I'm seeing a lot of disease right now in different plants, whether it be ornamentals or vegetables or trees and stuff. So we're seeing a lot of that. If y'all are ever curious and you want to see some really neat stuff under the microscope, just let me know. A lot of them look weird, so if you're into that, just let me know. But this month we'll be doing a pesticide recertification for any of our people in the county who have a a private or commercial pesticide license. We'll be offering an hour this month. Next month we have a forage workshop that will be discussing variable rate technology for fertilizer and alfalfa production and nutritive values on hay. And then from the 4-H perspective, outside of archery, they just finished up their 4-H year yesterday and started back today. So, no rest for the weary. And but they had one student go to our state competition for project achievement. She came in third in her contest, and then just finished up a slew of summer activities, had a lot of kids coming in and doing stuff, and just getting ready now to get back into the schools and get back into our after-school programs. So, thank you.
That's great. Thank you. Yes. Any citizens tonight want to come forward? None? Ms. Vaughn, you want to start us off?
I do. Of course, today's the first day of school for both Sam and I. So, but he didn't have to drive a school bus, so he don't get to talk very much. So,
I have more kids in front of me than she did.
whatever. So, yeah, today's been a long day for me. But I will say, Sean, thank you for being there with a chainsaw in your hand when we had all the trees down a few weeks ago. Thank you. That's when John and I came on here, I told everybody I didn't want to be known as the commissioners that fired every one of the directors. But for the first few months, first few years, that's the way it felt like. It felt like every department that we had, it was like, oh my God, what's going to happen next? And seeing you two guys sit over there at that table, it makes me proud that we've done something right for this county. We're in the right direction, and I appreciate y'all and all the other directors out there that are proving makes us look really good up here, because y'all are doing the job so well out there. So we appreciate y'all. Really appreciate y'all. And I don't think we tell y'all that enough.
We appreciate the support y'all are giving us. Y'all are giving us the resources we need. We appreciate that.
Haddock, I'm glad to see y'all's faces in here.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes, and I was sitting here, and that was one of the things, Dayline, when we all agreed really quickly on that money that we're going to get off them trees, I started counting up, and I was going, oh, there's some more playground equipment money. So I understand, and I also understand from an aspect of, I know those kids that are in that area, and I do know that, when we let off at a bus stop, they go every direction. And if you drive through there any time of the day and night, a lot of them are walking on the streets, walking around. I love the idea that 4-H is going to be there with archery. I would love to have that. So many kids from your community that see that potential of a sport that they could do. And start getting more involved with 4-H, because they do a lot of things too that they could use that park for, to help bring in the community into that park. That's two different ones, yeah. Oh, I know. But I look at it like this. I think about those parents that are bringing the older kids that are doing archery and coming down to the other park to let the younger kids play on the playground while those kids are up there. I mean, so that's a benefit too that we need to look at. So, one of my favorite things growing up was when we had community church service at Haddock Baptist and brought the whole community together in Haddock. Those are some great memories that I have growing up. No, I don't go to Haddock Baptist anymore, but are those still things that y'all do? See, I got to get an invite. Those were my favorites. Those were good singing, y'all. I just don't know. So I appreciate y'all coming. My New Damascus people, I mean, where are they? They're not here tonight. Okay. All right. You're here. So, okay. And I want to apologize first on the behalf that I put y'all's date down wrong. I put your back to school down for Sunday, not Saturday. And about 2 hours prior to it, something told me, you better look at that date again. But I was able to get Sharon there, so I hope that she was able to answer all the questions. Very good, very good. So please forgive me for me not being there, but I worked really hard to get somebody there in a hurry. So that's all I got to say.
Commissioner Martin?
Just echoing what Wendy said, we appreciate all the work that our new department heads have put in. It's refreshing when you make a phone call and it gets done. And it's not because of any favor of any position, it's just they see the prioritization of work and they make sure that it gets done. So I'm excited about that. And when the citizen calls you back and says, hey, I appreciated that you guys got this resolved, that makes it even better. So I'm thankful. I appreciate you guys. Real quickly, I do want to echo another piece that Wendy brought up, which is utilizing parks. But I want to tie it into the workforce development component where the churches I know and the community has been looking at workforce development. You had Daryl come out. So there are some communities that can leverage those workforce development dollars, tie them into our departments, and employ some kids. So again, I said I wanted to be intentional about that at the last meeting. I'm going to talk with Sean a little bit more about leveraging those experiences. And before we surplus all the old equipment away, might be a good opportunity to park some of it at the industrial park and let kids and adults practice in a safe space while clearing some land. So,
You one of them?
absolutely. You know, y'all talk about me pretty bad because I'm the only city guy here. But I would like to learn how to operate some heavy equipment. My Mahindra, I'm beating it up, so I'm ready for it, dozer.
You thought you were supposed to grind rocks with it,
I did a really good job of grinding rocks. They're all gone.
and you took it in for warranty.
Warranty's been gone, you know, and
I
that
mean,
was
when you grind the rocks up, you went in there and wondered if the warranty covered that.
Nope, not at all. I talked to Mr. Woodall before he left, and I just need a new bush hog deck, that's all. So, yes, getting the equipment out there and making the formal relationship formal where we do leverage workforce development, our equipment, and our capacity here to bridge those gaps for students to find gainful employment in the county. Because they're all not graduating, and, I mean, they all are graduating, but they're all not going away to college. So let's create that, seriously.
Yeah.
That's all I got. Thank you.
Mr. Wood?
Okay. I'll echo what Wendy said about our department heads and our employees. Can't do it without you, and we appreciate everything that y'all do day in, day out. A lot of it's not seen, a lot of it is, but can't do it without you. Budget session this Friday. The public is invited to that. So you get to see where how your taxes are spent and how it's allocated. So everybody is welcome to come to that. That's all I
All
have
day.
tonight.
8:30 all day, come on.
8:30 all day.
Friday morning.
This Friday, 8:30 in the morning, here in this room.
Mr. Kitchen?
I will echo for a fourth time what they said about our department heads. Can't say enough about them. I've called all of them within the last couple of weeks with different things, and I mean, as soon as you call them, it's taken care of. So our taxpayers are happy, we're happy, and the things are getting done. So thanks to all of y'all.
Y'all must be getting the same phone calls I'm getting, because I just said, yeah, I got something to say tonight, and Wendy got out there and got to talk about it. And I've literally, in the last 2 weeks, I've had just about every department head that I've had somebody call, say, hey, I appreciate that. I called them up, they're nice folks, and,
Yeah.
you know, and appreciate you getting it done, and then I'm like, wow.
Yeah, I've gotten a couple of voicemails that I couldn't answer. It says, I know you don't hear this very often, but just want to let you know y'all did a great job on blah, 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 and thank y'all for jumping right on it, and y'all got great employees, and
I've been getting the same, but that feels good, because we don't hear that a lot. We generally get just
chewing.
And I will tell you this, I have gotten really, I mean, and this is a kudos to Water Department, and I'm hoping our new software systems with Tyler Technologies, is that who it's with? Jason? Is that who the new, that they love the emails, the water bills with the emails and reminders?
I sent you spam.
Look, that's how I found out about it, is because one of my friends said, hey, I got this weird email from the Water Department that I've never gotten. So I sent it to Brandon. I said, hey, put that out on social media. That's something to be proud of. And within
Mm-hmm.
like 10 minutes, it was out there. So that is great because, water department was my headache that
Mm-hmm.
first 2 years. And so to find the positive feedbacks there is great.
But it is great to have all these compliments, and it's,
Yes.
didn't ask for them, they called and said, I just want to thank you, wow. And I mean, it's throughout the county on department heads.
Chairman, I will, one last thing real quick. I want to mention the animal control. Think about if you're looking for an animal to adopt, we are full. They're taking donations. We've got all kind of animals that are already sponsored. Very minimal cost for them, but and bigger than that, be a responsible pet owner. If you don't want 10 or 12 cats and dogs around, get them spayed and neutered. We got full shelters, and I've seen them. I called Jennifer one day and about a call on a bunch of cats, feral cats that were out, and she says, well, we're over here with 17 dogs right now, and we're trying to round them all up, and we've got no place to put them. Got a call on that. So 17 dogs, 20 or 30 cats, and I'm like, and we're already full. So I hope y'all will talk to people about that. It is a real problem. We built an animal shelter big enough, twice as big as we had, and it was full. And I mean, we got great people, we got great partners that donate a lot of money, a lot of food, a lot of medication, but we still can't keep up. And that's a sad situation. So.
I make a motion that we adjourn to executive session.
No.
Oh, no?
No executive session.
I make a motion that we adjourn meeting.
Second.
All in favor, aye?
Ah!
And we appreciate all y'all coming. Hope to see you again.
4 o'clock